I want to recognize how much taller Mr. Goodrich is than me. There you go. I want to recognize our seniors. It's been a really nice group of folks that as I mentioned this last year when I came to the district, this core group of students here did the best thing that any band director could ask for. When you leave a program, your best wish is to know that your students will do the right thing and make the right decisions when you're there, and especially when you're not. And when I came into the program, these students were already doing that. And it was a really awesome thing to see. It speaks very highly of the training, it speaks very highly of their dedication to the program. And I want to take a moment to thank these seniors and to recognize them. So if you would please stand up as I call you by section here. Savannah Whalen. Megan Knights. Kaylin Kaiser. Jennifer Peter. Tori Bogalino. Dalton Niven. Doug Pollock. Richie Brown. Jory Malden. Peter Luminacci, who could not be here this evening. Greg Genova. And our new string bass player, Nathan Catanzarate. I also want to take a moment to recognize the students that just participated this past weekend in the District 5 Honors Band at Westminster College. These are students who spent time from pretty much the end of last spring working on a really difficult solo to audition with some of the best high school musicians from Beaver County, Butler County, Mercer, and Lawrence counties, all gathered together to audition at Westminster, and it was a blind audition, and they were taken purely on the merit of their performance. There was nothing was given any special attention to what school you came from. If you could come and play and you did well, you made it in. And we had 3 that made it in, and not only made it, but all 3 of our individuals that represented Blackhawks sat in the first chair of their sections. So I want to take a moment to recognize those students: Kaylin Kaiser, Jack Whalen, and Nathan Catanzarate. And going on to the district band, also from the same group of students, but taken selection by round robin. We have our automatic picks, once again, Jack Whalen and Kaylin Kaiser. And in addition with that, we'll be traveling with them to Lakeview High School. Will be Katie Lindsay and Adam Kantz as well. I made notes because I rambled. I don't like to do that. But I ramble sometimes because they need a break. So I don't like to talk that much, but I don't know which is better, listening to me or listening to silence. But anyway, moving on to our next piece. The beauty of Johann Sebastian Bach is just absolutely incredible. When I first really started paying attention to what I was listening to, when I listened to him, I found out how much it's just very enthralling. Baroque music is a very special kind of music. It's amazing how something that can come from a term that means misshapen pearl can be so enthralling and still have so much emotion behind it. The beauty of Bach is a lot of the pieces that I always find myself very attracted to are pieces that are really written originally for an organ, where there's only 3 parts going on at a time. Jesu, Joy of Man's Desiring, which we're going to play next, is a piece that had the organ part and then a choir accompaniment, the organ was the accompaniment for the choir on top of it. So even though when it was reorchestrated by Alfred Reed, from Bach's original hand, we can hear there are so many different things going on. When you get down to the nitty-gritty of it, there's really only 3 melodic lines. That would be 2 melodies and then a bass line, and then the choral part that goes on that you hear some long tones over top of it. A beautiful piece, Jesu, Joy of Man's Desiring. district. She was a very big supporter of this program, and definitely somebody that was in our corner to do what we could, to fight to do what we could with this program. I talked to Mr. Nichols, who's the band director up in New Wilmington this weekend, and let him know what a gem he was getting in her. And I very much appreciate that, and I hope that, I believe that the district will do what they can to find somebody that will continue that battle for us and to continue to keep arts within the school where it belongs. Along that same note, taking things from the administrative level to the high school level, I want to thank our Dean of Students and also our principal, Mr. Scott Nelson. And having said that, at this time, I would like Mr. Nelson to come up here and join us. If we could, please, a round of applause for Mr. Scott Nelson. The first piece we played, Christmas Festival, is a great chart by Leroy Anderson, and I first heard it on a CD that I won. That was a CD of Wind Ensemble conducted by Frederick Fennell, which is a great CD of a bunch of Christmas music. Another chart that was on that was I guess a musical portrait of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. And as it just so happens, we have that in the music library here. And when I saw it, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to have it, to play it. And well, it came up, well, who can do this? Who can do the narration for it? Because there's a narration part to actually do the poem. And I was trying to think of somebody that I knew from the district that maybe had a distinctive voice. And I thought, you know what? We have just... Yeah. he said a distinctive belly. To shake when he laughs like a bowl full of jelly. Just very, very thrilled that someone who is a supporter for us behind the scenes can join us on stage and make some music together. So, Mr. Scott Nelson, and 'Twas the Night Before Christmas.
his cursors they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed in all fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. The bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his sack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up in a bow, and the beard on his chin was white as new snow. The stump of his pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a very jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to work, and filled all his stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew, like the down on a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night."